Cat, and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Sub RLPC Independent League action. We're gonna start off with a few games here tonight. We've got a few going on. I just noticed that there is a switch in the schedule, so I'm going to make sure that I remember which is where. It is a game at 8:15 that got switched. It's not going to be Centurions versus Beavers. It is Centurions versus Beavers and not Piranhas versus Mages. So first, Zebras and Macaws starting off for Independent League right off of the bat. And so we got a lot to look out for here. So the Macaws, let's start with them. If I could find them. No, that's oh no, that's Paladin League. What am I doing? Why is it written that it's independent? Alright. Wait, it's not Paladin either. What? Where is it? My notes are all over the place. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, there you go. It's Maverick League. Of course it would be. So, Zebras versus Macaws. Both teams are in a playoff spot right now, 8-4 for the Macaws with a +1 goal differential. The 7-5 Zebras, however, are with a +22 goal differential. They've got quite the team going on with Boss, Wheatbran, Old Dirty Dirty, and Roxy. On the other side, you have Titan on Fire, Digi, and Muffin. This very much so looks like a game that the Zebras might just take here. Looking at the Macaws, they've won all 8 of their games, and they've only lost 3 this season due to one game being a forfeit loss. So you can't take that away from them. And same for the Zebras. They've won 7 games and only lost 4. One of them to forfeit. They won 2 games due to forfeit. Sorry. So normally they're 5-5. My goodness, my notes are everywhere. That's very nice. That is very nice indeed. Ooh, who do we have here? Who's this sexy man who's next to me?
You must be looking in a mirror, man, because the only one I see here that's sexy is 100% you. No, but, I was like, I haven't seen my boy QDC in a while, and I wanted to change my lighting a little bit, because honestly, it's too bright, and I don't really like my face too much. But, you guys got me here. But we have the Macaws and the Zebras, and I know that you've been talking about it, but I definitely wanted to pop in, because, I know a couple of the players, and honestly, they're close to my heart, Dirty. That man is such a sweet person. I love him. Love him to death. Sorry, just had to clear my throat. But how are you?
Oh, I'm doing extraordinarily well, as you can tell. Inside of my closet with the flashlight in my face, I'm completely blinded right now, so that's why I can't read my notes. But otherwise, I'm good. People seem happy to see you in the chat. Obviously, no one's ever liked me before. So
that's savage.
Hey, I'm savage to everyone else. I need to be savage to myself sometimes too.
That's fair. You see, guys, this is why I keep QDC around. At least he is a fair, mean person to everybody, including himself. So, but I think Backyard Dev was agreeing to my dirty statement, because he knows how awesome Old Dirty Dirty is, and Dork too. So, but let's look at the stats a little bit. Zebras are 7-5, Macaws are 8-4, if memory serves. 8-4. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm so right. But the Macaws, they only have 3 players on. They have Titan, Diggy, and Muffin. So it's kind of tough to have a 3-man roster, because you can't have that sub, kind of have that 4th man to rely on. And I mean, so far it's still working out for them. I mean, they've only lost 4, which at this point is still pretty good.
Which is odd to say, because if you look at their stats, right, they don't look like a team that should be the top of their division, right? With only a 56 winning percentage, you don't expect them to be 8-4 with only 1 goal differential in total, right? Their shooting percentage is at -5%, and it's really odd to see that's the way it is, right? The Zebras look completely better in terms of stats, but when it comes to the record, right, The Macaws are 8-3 technically if you don't count forfeits, and Zebras are 5-5. So it's very incredible to see that the Macaws seem very consistent and very midfield, but are able to get the wins when they need to. And Zebras, well, they're 5-5. They've lost a lot of games, which I bet they shouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, looking at the Zebras, I know Dirty, and I've played with him a good amount, both comp and I didn't get to play with him, unfortunately. I really wanted to this season, but it just never worked out. But I really do think he's actually going to be the catalyst here. Either Dirty, I love you, Dirty, and I see you in the chat, and I apologize because it might be a little bit of smack talk, but I gotta be honest, dude. He's got to be on an on day. If he's on his on day, he's a fantastic player. Beautiful, love it, great comms, everything just works perfectly. But if he's even a little bit off, it can really mess with like the whole team vibe and the chemistry. So, I mean, I'm really looking to him. Really, like he has to step up here, and I definitely know he has what it takes. He can totally do this. But I mean, my eyes are just on him because if he doesn't show up, I don't think it's going to work out for the Zebras. But if he shows up, I think it's going to be an easy 3-1 win.
I mean, it's easy to say that, right? Because he's number 1 in goals on the team, he's number 1 in assists on the team, and he's number 1 in saves on the team, right? So it's really easy to say that this guy makes or breaks the team, right? Looking at those stats. And I mean, number 1 in assists per game by a long shot, right? Nearly double. He's second in goals per game, but the other guy, Roxy, who's ahead of him, has only played 6 games compared to the 9 of old Dirty. And saves per game, he's also number 1 at 1.6. So he's been doing amazing on his end. But if he ever has an off day or he's not playing, that team looks like it struggles without him.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but it's also really interesting because if I do recall correctly from what I read, give me 1 second because, all right, game day stream rosters. Dirty, where'd you put it? Yeah, so Boss is actually the sub. So Boss, who is the highest MMR, is the one who's sitting on the bench. He's about 20 MMR higher than the rest of the team, like from the person who's right next to him. I mean, other than that, like they're significantly lower. So it's really interesting to see that they're going for a chemistry thing rather than a single carry, which I do appreciate. But they also have 81 MMR in the bank. So I mean, there's just like a lot of interesting space that I'm seeing off of that. But do you feel like that chemistry is really going to work for them, or do you feel like you need at least to have that one person that's just able to whip it around and just kind of take the game by the horns?
I mean, it depends on which opponents they face off against, right? And now we're up against the Macaws here, who I don't know, right? Like their stats don't scream like a team that's gonna go far in the playoffs, right? They look like a team that should be 6-6, yet they're 8-3 technically, right? Titan on Fire having played 10 out of the 12 games, Muffin playing 10 out of the 12 games, and Digi only playing 5. Digi looking like the strongest player in terms of goals, but yeah, it's not looking so hot. So I'm curious as how they got 8 wins here. Sorry to say to those Macaws, but I look, compared to the Zebras here, I don't really have faith.
First of all, I gotta go with that Savage. There's just nothing else to say. Macaws, I'm very sorry for QDC and the hot take that he just did. By the way, throw back to that. I wish we had those still. But going back to it, I mean, I hate to say it like this because the desk, we're all about numbers. We're all about, trying to figure out, what works. But hey, if it works, it works. If you take it to game 5 every single time and still win, you still win.
That is very true. You got a good point. You have a very, very good point. But if we look at the Macaws schedule real quick, right? They only have 1 sweep. And it's to the Otters, right? Which, well, everyone's been sweeping this season. So, it's odd to say, right? Like, it's weird to think that they only have 1 sweep, yet are 8-4. Their stats don't scream like a team that should be that up high, right? But looking at their current roster, it seems like it's doing well. They've been winning games, which is the important part, and that's what they've been doing, which props to them. But up against the 7-5 Zebras team with Dirty playing, I'm giving the edge to the Zebras.
Yeah, so that's actually really interesting because you were talking about the Macaws with having a winning percentage of 56.1, right?
Yeah.
So the Zebras have a winning percentage of 55.26. So
but that's not exactly what the stat I was looking at. I'm looking at the goal differential. I'm looking at the shot percentage differential, right? The shooting percentage differential. The Macaws are at a negative 5% shooting differential, and they are dead even. They only have a +1 on the goal differential. Meanwhile, the Zebras are +22. They have a 3% differential in the positive. It's I don't know. I just like their stats a lot more than the sorry, not 3%. Well, almost 3%. 2.5%. Let's say.
So not. I mean that is a fair point, but I was just looking at chat, and I mean Dirty is correct. They've actually kind of turned around ever since the roster change. I know it was a little bit how do I put this? Unexpected, I think is the best way to do it. But they traded Smurf and Fang for Brandon Rocky, right? Correct?
I'm not sure. Maybe Dirty can.
Roxy. I apologize. I apologize. But ever since they made that change, Dirty is right. Technically, they have gone 5-0. But again, 2 of those were FF wins. So
technically, they haven't lost a single game in a series either, right?
Yeah, because I mean, they've swept every single time. They've done 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. So
and then 2 forfeits, 2 forfeit wins, right? So also 3-0s technically.
True.
So they're 15-0 technically in the last 5 games.
15-0, dude. Now that is a stat and a half. One wasn't an FF, and they made them FF. What do you mean, Dirty? I'm actually really confused. Oh, someone played. Oh, okay. So did you guys win? So you said you won the series. Was it like 3-1, 3-2? What was it?
Yeah, that way we can have like precise stats.
I think it was the Piranhas. 3-1. Okay, so they still won 3-1. So, maybe they didn't go 15-0, but it's still a really good stat, and they did win it. They didn't take it to game 5. So I mean, they've been looking strong so far, but I mean, they're going up against a team that does have a better Piranhas for the FF. Damn it! So close. Almost had it. And I apologize. I should have said darn it, but whatever. All right, you guys can sue me. Yeah, it happens. Okay, don't clip that. But
you
I mean,
that as where you don't listen to me casting. Oh my goodness.
True. Wait, do you say that on Stream a Lot, QDC?
No,
dude. I usually have you when I can't make it, so I guess I gotta go back and watch the VOD.
I'm totally not gonna make you watch 12 hours of VODs right now.
That's a fair point. But let's go back to this. So the Macaws in their past 5. They have, 3 wins, 2 losses. 1 was an FF loss, and then the Tide swept them too. So a little bit shakier, but I mean, they're still 8-4, so they do have that series. What's the word? They do. I don't know. They've lost a couple games, so they might not be riding that high of just winning a ton. So
I'm going to say one thing really quick before anything else is said. Zebras are sweeping. Before anything else,
sweeping.
Zebras are sweeping.
Zebras are sweeping.
This is an easy sweep call right now.
Are you doing it because you just saw the roster with T-Man saying that?
No, not whatsoever. It's not because of T-Man's message. But it's gonna be tougher now because you have a downgrade, right? Oof. And because Voy, and you got Muffin and Titan. You don't have Digi. Right? Digi technically your best in terms of stats.
That is really savage. So I will say, I played with Voy. He definitely does have a lot of talent. He can play well. It kind of depends on if he's on his day or not. And I don't really want to give anything away to the Zebras team. But I do know that Voy. If you demo him a little bit. Sorry. If you demo him a little bit, he could be a little bit upset. Oh,
so you're saying that the Macaws win then?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Okay, I'm trying to play both sides because that's how we do this. But Voy, it's easier to play up than it is to play down, in my opinion, especially because there isn't too much of a difference between Renegade and Maverick, at least in my experience. It definitely is a little bit faster, more accurate, but in my opinion, it is easier to work your brain around that step up rather than that step down. So he could actually pop up and do really well. However, there is that lack of chemistry and that lack of synergy that's going to, be interesting. So it's really going to be for the Zebras not to take anything, for granted from the Macaws, especially with this call up. But I mean, the Macaws, they do have to kind of step up to the plate and just try to knock this one out of the park. I would say the advantage is definitely in the Zebras court half, whatever you want to call it. But the Macaws, they can still do this, man.
All right, so you're who, if you had to put money, like the channel points, right? Our premium currency here at RLPC. Who are you putting your channel points on?
Speaking of that, I need to start the prediction. Give me a second, you guys. I am 100% prepared. I don't know what you mean that I'm not prepared for this. I'm totally prepared. But I would definitely do Zebras, I mean, especially because it's a little personal to me because I'm in that org and I love them to death. They are my boys. Yeah, definitely them. But it's also incredibly frustrating because I cannot tell you how annoying it is that I cannot actually do any predictions. Like,
okay,
it won't let me like edit or it won't let me bet because I'm a mod or something.
So if you had a team to bet on, you'd bet on Zebras, obviously. So everyone's gonna bet on Zebras, and then that one person's gonna bet 1,000 on Macaws, and if Macaws win, they're gonna get like 20,000 channel points, right? That's pretty much what this is gonna come down to. All
right, let me make sure. Oh, because they're wow. Arunos, yeah, that's fair. I might be a little bit biased, but hey, it happens. But I believe QDC, you're in the match, are you not?
No, because I haven't received the info yet.
Oh, you haven't received the info? I apologize. Let me send it to you, actually. There you go.
Nice.
But I believe all the players are in the match, so we're going to head over there as soon as he gets in and is ready. And I believe... Who was I having join you? Soy. I'm just going to pull him in. There you doing. How are you, Soy? He's also muted, so it might take him a little bit to get there. But you guys can start doing the predictions already with that 5K for Macaws and 2K for Zebras, so that's interesting. But I believe, is everyone in now, QDC?
Everyone should be in, yeah, and I'm just waiting on... No, Soy is also in, I do believe. No, he's not. All right, Soy, get it. Send it to Soy. Send it to Soy as well.
You need to screen share because his computer can't handle it. I do.
Oh.
It is a big rip because I think he's getting a new computer. I think he said in February.
I think it's just because he doesn't have the game. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why.
Oh,
I can clarify this.
Oh
I
God.
have
Your
my
voice was louder
apologies.
than I was expecting.
I'm so sorry. I did get a new microphone, but that would probably be why. It's that I didn't have a computer that could run the game.
Okay,
So-
okay,
Right.
so that was close enough.
I
But
apologize.
that is it for me. I'm gonna let QDC and Soy take it away. So you guys have fun, do great, and I know that it's gonna be a great match. And really quickly before I go Zebras!
Well, you heard the prediction. You heard. Did you listen at all to any of the desk or?
I was able to catch a part of it, and I agree. I think right now, if I were to give an edge to anyone, the Zebras have been playing hot. You mentioned 15-1, I believe, if one of those forfeits was not a clean sweep.
Yeah,
Still,
exactly.
15-1 is 15-1. So the Zebras have been playing hot as of late, and the Macaws, I mean, if someone's swinging up, that chemistry may or may not be there. We'll have to find out this game.
Right, because the Macaws have won the last 5 out of their last 7, right? But that doesn't show anything because they forfeited one match and then they won the last 2 out of the last 3. So, yeah, it's gonna be rough for them. I'm pretty sure this game. Zebras in white, Macaws are in green. And Game 1 is underway here for our first match tonight. We have 4 of them coming up for you, and this is the first one of tonight. Soy. You and me cast together a lot in the past, so you are no stranger to me, and I'm no stranger to you. How are you? I didn't get to talk to you much.
I've been good. I've been excited about coming back to Rocket League casting just in general, especially this is like the first time on stream I've gotten to test this new microphone, but I did want to mention, kind of more getting back to this match in general, this is a big match for both of these teams. If you look further down the line, the season ends on January 21st, and the schedule for both of these teams does not really get any easier. I believe they both have to play the Samurai, which are the last undefeated team in this league. I believe the Macaws have to play the Mages, who are still battling for a wild card spot in the playoffs. And I believe there's one other team that I'm missing in there. Oh, right. They have to play, I think they both have to play the Camels, who are one game away from being in first place in their division. So, I mean, this is an important game to really set the pace for the rest of January.
Yes, for sure. And once you go into the playoffs, right? Because it's the top two teams of each division, the top team of each division make it in, and then it's the best two of each conference, right? That make it in. And so 3 teams from a division could make it in, but that only means 1 team can make it into from the other division, right?
Right. Yeah, and so it's really, you know, about setting the pace. You know, we haven't played since last year technically. You know, it's January now. It's 2021. Both teams trying to start this year on the right foot. And
you're completely right with that. I do want to say though, you did say that the Samurai are the only undefeated team left in Maverick. Well, they are the only team undefeated left in all of RLPC, I do believe. In all 8 leagues combined, I think they are the only team that is left undefeated. Someone can fact check that though, because I haven't checked the P4 leagues, but I haven't seen a team that is 12. And oh, that's Roxy there who takes that pass, and it's a 1-0 lead almost halfway through this game.
Great job there too. Great pass off the corner, and Roxy just crossbar and down. Great placement on the shot. The defense of the Macaws just a little slow on the read there, but that's, you know, what you get. The Zebras are playing fast-paced right now.
Yes, very fast-paced from the Zebras here, as we expected. They seem to have really good chemistry, though. Someone forgot to guard the net there. Everyone went for the ball here. Roxy, Dirty got stuck on the net here. He should have stayed back in net and not gone for boost.
Yeah, old Dirty hits the post on his flip, and that messes up the entire rotation, leaving no one in net, and that gives the Macaws the opening they need to tie the game.
Thank you, Draftee, for the clarification. Yes, Samurai are the only team in all 8 leagues, so think about this for a second. Out of all the teams, there are 16 times 8. That's over... Ooh, that's 128 teams. Only 1 team is left undefeated, and that's the Samurai.
Yeah, and again, for both of these teams, they are only 1 game ahead in their division. If they lose a game, they'll be in a tiebreaker for that first place spot. So for both of them to have to play an undefeated team still, that is massive.
Yes, but all things come to an end eventually. Some of the best teams that have gone undefeated have actually lost in the playoffs, funny enough. So at the end of the day, the playoffs is all that matters. And, well, with the recent stats coming out from the Zebras team, it seems like they might be that team, but right now the Macaws are really bringing it to them.
Yeah, that was a goal steal at the end there, but regardless, the Macaws just really outplayed in the corner to get the advantage and push that one on net. Kind of a tough angle to hit too. Great placement by the Macaws.
And here we go. The predictions are set. People have bidded over 12.4k channel points, and it's an exact 50-50 for the Zebras and Macaws here in terms of channel points, though more people voted for the Macaws to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Macaws do have the better record at the end of the day. It's just such an uphill battle when you're playing against someone who's playing on fire right now. But I believe you guys mentioned the Macaws have a sub playing, right? That's Voy coming in. Mm-hmm. And so really the emphasis is on Voy to really step up and play to your league. I think Bard had a really good point as Wheat ties the game up here, that I think it's easier to play up because you kind of start to get a read or a feel for the game a little easier in terms of, you know, where your teammates are going to be and how fast-paced this game is going to be. And so for Voy, really
no.
a chance for him to step up, and off the kickoff, it's not going to go. This is dangerous.
Very dangerous indeed, but yeah, Voy, although he is the lowest MMR player on this field right now, he's not really been a liability, which is what you're hoping out of, right? When you sub up a player because you're missing one of your main components, right? You don't want your player to be a liability when you call them up from the lower leagues. So that's exactly what Voy's been doing. Oh my goodness gracious! Somebody clip that, please.
The power behind this shot. I mean, this is where you spam calculated in the chat, right? That was all planned, right? Beforehand, they drew that up on the whiteboard about a week ago.
And with that said, 15 seconds left to go. They take the lead with one of the craziest goals I've ever seen. I think that would fool an RLCS team. Not even capping.
My jaw dropped when we. Oh no! And Voy.
There you go, Voy. See, I bashed on the Macaws for sure, saying that Zebras would sweep, but Voy has been playing extraordinarily well. He's not been a liability on this team, and honestly, he seems like he fits right in, and that's very, very good for this Macaws team, because this makes it a whole of a lot harder for Zebras to outright just sweep them.
And on top of that, Voy kind of acts as a wild card, right? Because now no one really knows, how he's going to play, how he's going to perform, how he really, adapts to the pace of the game. So it's hard for everyone to get a read on him, and that's probably why the Zebras have really kind of struggled to lock him down right now.
Yeah, the Zebras really struggling here because they don't exactly know how he plays, right? You don't exactly check for the lower leagues, right? You don't exactly check Renegade or Paladin, right? For the lower players normally. Oh, wow, that pass from Wheat to Roxy. It's not found. Dirty shot is off the crossbar. Cleared out by Muffin. Oh, my goodness. Almost. But that isn't good enough.
The Zebras got to be kicking themselves. That was an open net 8 days of the week, and somehow, with no goalie, they can't find a way to put it home, and they hit the post, and the Macaws escape.
There was one goalie, and it was called the Invisible Force Field. That was whatever stopped them from scoring that faithful moment. Oh, but that shot almost goes in. It's not an own goal, though. It's going to be cleared out. Roxy able to make the stop there. Had no more boost, though, so had he not gotten the ball right then and there, that was in the back of the net. Voy grabs this ball off of the side wall, passes it to Titan. Titan passes it back to Voy, who's not in position, so Titan's going to go back for it. He misses. Muffin ruins the rotation, and everyone has to go back here. Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. That was a huge possession there for the Macaws. Even though they didn't get a shot, they bought time because that defense was low on boost and hanging on by a thread.
Yes, exactly, and that was a smart play, right? Absolutely hanging on by a thread, as you say. So them getting the boost there, I think, was more important than the possession, for sure.
That was a big stop by Muffin.
Ooh, what a nice pinch there, but Wheat and Roxy are not in position. They're both staying in the midfield, expecting a clear. Muffin's the only one back now. Voy is in the net. He's going to miss this ball. Titan on fire. He's going to be able to get it, though. That's a nice intercept. That's exactly what you need, exactly what you want. Dirty is, oh no, Dirty was cherry picking, but he doesn't go for it. He was behind everyone, and he could have gone for it. Instead, he doesn't ruin rotation, and he gets himself boost.
Ooh, and right now, the Zebras are trying to find a way. They're starting to work their offense out of the corner. The Macaws have not been able to find the middle of the net or, the middle of the field in general. They're working these sideboards, and it's just kind of getting them trapped on offense. Meanwhile, a couple of these 50-50s have been dangerous, and once again, the Macaws spending a lot of boost to try and clear this ball.
And I want to point out something. The shots are practically equal, or they were, before the Zebras shot their 10th. And so the shots are now 11-9 in favor of Zebras. But there's only 3 saves on the side of Macaws. There was only 1, actually, at the time. So all the shots from Zebras either went off the post or went in the net, practically. So that shooting percentage was really, really bad. The ball is in the offensive corner for the Zebras. Muffin's gonna get it over 1 over 2, and now he's gonna get, oh no! He misses the shot, Voy misses it as well! And that ball is gonna be able to be put aside, and it's slowed down. That is an oopsie on the side of Macaws. Voy with his pop-up can't go on net with it. And it's been 3.5 minutes. We still can't find a goal, and it doesn't look like there's gonna be one anytime soon.
Both teams too scared to make a mistake right now. Muffin had the opportunity, but I think the ball was going so fast and he was out of boost. Now Voy with a chance. You're trying to fake out the defense, but Old Dirty just able to punch that one away.
It's off the back wall over to Roxy, and Muffin's not able to make the save. Zebras take game 1 after a grueling 9-minute match.
Old Dirty beats one defender and then immediately goes for the demo, and Muffin has to respect it, has to come out and cut down the angle, and that's all the Zebras needed to take game 1.
Very, very well played by the Zebras team, and they really looked in their element in that last minute there. They really stayed in the offensive zone. The Macaws just had no answer in that last little minute. Zebras looking very strong in this game. I did give it to them, but the Zebras not exactly dominating like I expected them to.
Yeah, and that's kind of a testament to the Macaws, right? They are what, 8-3, 8-4 for a reason. You don't win on accident in any league, right? So for them, this is like we said, a big game, and they're fighting. They're fighting the good fight. Voy, I really liked how he fit into this offense. It felt like he's coming in, we weren't really sure what to expect, but he feels like kind of the wild card, the unpredictable, and it's really, throwing the Zebras through a loop.
It definitely is, but it also gives them a little bit of a challenge at the same time, and I'm sure they're quite happy with a bit of a challenge, right? Obviously, even if you win a game by an absolute blowout, it can be boring, right? This game, definitely not boring for either team right now.
And with a 3-minute overtime, too, it's such a draining type of play, right? Because it feels like one mistake is all it would take to win that game, and yet both teams felt like they had their opportunities, so it was very back and forth.
Yeah, there were a lot of mistakes they just weren't capitalized on. That's another great hit by Titan on fire. Those were 2 really good hits by Titan there. He just can't find the back of the net, sadly. That was some good connections he did there. He stops Dirty from cherry picking. That's very important as well, because if Titan was behind, if Dirty was behind Titan on that play, he could have bumped him right then. Instead, he bumps Dirty, and now forces him back into his own zone. That's a very smart play, actually.
That was a really good clear to off the back wall, but I was going to say the challenges from the Macaws right now are on point, and it's very scary for the Zebras. They were really pinned in their back half as Dirty has to make a save practically on the goal line, and the pressure continues.
Yeah, the Macaws are really coming out strong here in this second game. 1:30 in, still no shots from the Zebras. Have they even been out of the defensive zone? Well, now they finally have in their first shot into the back of the net. I guess I read the script right at the right time.
I mean, what can you say? That is just a poor touch on Titan's part. I think he wanted to pass it back to Muffin, but Muffin was a little overextended, a little too far forward, and we able to capitalize on it. And we talked about this too. When teams, are winning those 50-50s, they feel like they can kind of go for everything, but it also leads to them being in those positions where they can easily get overextended.
Oh, definitely, and that's just how you pay for it, right? Sometimes you will make a mistake and you'll pay for it, but sometimes you're not in position and you don't realize it, and you sometimes you won't get paid for it, but this time they definitely did. And well, it's just unfortunate luck that the third man was so up front, but there was a reason for it. Titan on fire with that amazing double tap there, and that's another great goal for the Macaws here. Great play. He reads Dirty shot.
That is such a hard angle too, because he's coming at it from the side, right? So it hits the backboard, and he has to race across the field, across the goalie box practically, in order to make that play. Now, Old Dirty is there, but he's also underneath it, so he has to go basically straight vertical. It's such a tough defensive play to make. Great stuff by Titan to put that one home.
And it is a 1-1 game. Halfway through this one, the Zebras are still leading 1-0 in the series, though. And thanks to a 4-minute overtime goal. And maybe we will see more overtime here, because both teams seem pretty neck and neck. And it seems like they are quite tight in this race. They both want this win badly. But it just seems like right now, the Zebras really came back into it. After letting themselves get shot on 4 times in the first minute and a half, they really came back. They've shot 7 times in the last 2 minute and a half, and they've gotten themselves back into this game.
Yeah, and it feels like the momentum of the game, right, is all Macaws right now. And I think it goes back to that challenge game. When they are playing fast, when they are getting in the face of the Zebras just have no space to work with. But when the Zebras have all this space, they can create opportunities like that flick right there. And now they might have a little bit of offensive possession. Can they get the hit? No. Macaws able to clear it temporarily.
And it is still a 1-1 game. That's an amazing redirect, but it's stopped by Muffin, who's in the right place at the right time, hoping and praying that that ball would hit his car.
That was such a clean redirect, but great positioning by the defense to make that save. And they're not out of the woods yet, too. They're low on boost. They need this clear.
That is that. All right. Sorry, I just sent a link to the Discord to someone in the chat. Do you have the chat open, Soy?
I do not at the moment.
you should do that. There are plenty of amazing people here at RLPC who you can talk to in the chat, and and you can see their amazing reactions to, let's say, the Titan goal, which had a lot of really good reactions there, especially from T-Man, who's really happy that his team is getting it pretty close to the Zebras, I'm sure. As a GM, of course.
I always forget that there's all these teams are connected too. That's one of the things that's so cool about the RLPC is that this community is so connected. You have all these different leagues, all these different skill levels that you can root for whoever, and it's still friendly and fun.
Yeah, exactly, and well, there can be some banter. I've seen a lot of banter in my day here in RLPC, and totally not me. I've given my fair share of hot takes. I've taken my fair share of heat from both ends. And listen, I've made a lot of enemies. I've made a lot of friends. But at the end of the day, most people here will make more friends than enemies. Maybe you will make some enemies on the field. Some know him as Catman, who loves to demo. But these guys will know him as Dirty, as he's done them dirty twice here with 2 overtime goals.
The double commit on the sidewall, and Dirty is right there to capitalize off of it. And it's the first real time that the Macaws have double commit in a scenario like that. Right off of kickoff, there has to be some communication there. You can't have 2 players going, because that type of play is exactly what will happen, especially when you're carrying the ball from the corner to the middle. It's like we've said in traditional sports, you never want to clear through the middle. It's the most dangerous part of the field.
Yes, exactly. I used to be a goalie in soccer, right? Never was I told to, yes, pass it through the middle. No, it was always through the side, right? You were told to, if you had a ball that you had to kick out, it was through the sides. Throw it to the sides. Throw it to your defender, right? Same thing in hockey. If you're a goalie and you need to pass it to a defenseman, pass it through the boards, right? Pass it to the side, never through the middle. That's how you get intercepted. That's how you get scored on. And,
right, and
that's exactly what happened.
And the reason for that is because when you turn it over on the sideboards, you're cutting down the angle that the offense has to work with. Then they have to find a way to work their way back to the middle, which is much harder, where they have all of the angles. And now in Rocket League, it's a little harder, right? When you're dribbling along the wall, sometimes you're kind of forced to make that play across the middle. But the reason it works is because you carry it high off the wall. You carry it over the net to the other side.
Oh! I was sorry to interrupt you there, but Muffin almost getting that double tap. That would have been sweet. He's been going for those double taps since game 1. He got one in Game 1, but he hasn't gotten one since.
I completely agree, and it feels like the Macaws, their offense, when it's in the air, again, the spacing of this game is so important, and it felt like the Zebras really capitalized when they had space, but for the Macaws, it feels like when they have space, it's immediately go for that backboard.
And there you go. Zebras are going to take the 1-0 lead here with a shot from Wheat. Old Dirty puts it into the corner, and Wheat, that's a beautiful redirect over 1/2. Muffin not seeing it until he turned on his ball cam, and that is a 1-0 lead.
And so now the pressure is on the Macaws, right? We talked about how big this game is. Now you're on Game 3, down 2-0. How many times have we seen a reverse sweep, right? It's so hard to do in this league, but the Macaws, we know they're capable. It's a matter of, if not now, then when?
Yes, exactly. Because the Macaws, it's a now or never situation, right? Especially down by a goal. They need to find something. Thank you to Duffy, who's been our streamer, by the way, who's been allowing us to cast and do all the amazing stuff in the background. Thank you so much for the 50 bits, and thank you so much to Muffin for that amazing little goal there.
Muffin with all the space in the world, Old Dirty the only man back, and I mean, I believe there was a Macaw there going for a bump, but just way too much space given. Where was the defense of the Zebras on that play?
I don't know, it just seemed like they were out of position for sure, and only one person back, and nowhere near that ball. And it just allowed for that game to be tied there. Same here, oh, Wheat with a save there. Voy looking at plenty of net, but just sending it wide.
Yeah, and it feels once again like the Macaws have really, their challenge game is on point, but I feel like the time of possession is ever so slowly creeping towards the Zebras' favor.
Yeah, slowly but surely, but the Macaws, they're bringing it right now. They're better off in shots right now, and they've done it all through more than halfway through this game, right? They didn't do it early on. That was the Zebras who were more in the offensive zone at that point. But no, with 2:30 left, it looks much more like the Macaws mean business right now. They definitely want this win. They don't want to be swept like I predicted, but I predicted a sweep because I thought that the Zebras would absolutely take control. This has not been the case.
It does, however, feel like the Zebras, when they are on offense, they have a lot more control. You saw that last little offensive stint for the Macaws was a lot of, booming clears and just punch it downfield, off the wall, beat your, beat whoever you're going to challenge, or whoever's going to challenge you on the other side first, and then work from there. Whereas it feels like you've gotten a lot more passing plays out of the Zebras.
Now, one thing I did notice was someone in chat actually mentioned it quite a bit earlier, that they're thankful that the ban was lifted on, on RLCS decals. That's a nice save by Muffin. RLCS decals, if you didn't know, and any decal that couldn't change color was banned in RLPC for a few months, I would say, and you'd get start talking to. You just couldn't be in a stream game for it, and people were complaining about it, and not only in the Twitch chat, but mostly the players, right? They wanted to play with their precious skins that they paid good money for, and well, we see two players with them right now, and they seem pretty happy, as they've been both playing pretty well, Voy and Muffin.
Yeah, no, I agree. And on top of that, the esports skins look super clean. I mean, the BDS skin, I think, is my personal favorite in terms of design. But the Sonic skin, too, as you see that Muffin's rocking, the color scheme looks great. The design looks good. You can't complain about these skins.
No, not whatsoever. I don't know about you. If you play CSGO, you might know what skin I'm going to talk about. But the Vice gloves, that's exactly what the BDS skin looks like. That's just it to me anyway. Let's start talking about the plays on the field, because there's been a lot of demos, and that one's dangerously close. And Wheat's going to go up, and Voy tried to go into the net off the backboard there. But that just didn't work out. Look at this. He's so close to it, but he hesitated just a little bit and was a little too high because of it.
That hesitation killed him too, because you have to commit to that save right off the bat, and he knew that if he tried to go for the jump off the start there, that he didn't have a whole lot of boost, so it wouldn't have been an easy save. And speaking of easy saves, Voy had to go for that. They're still in trouble, and oh no, the nail in the coffin from Dirty.
Oh, you say the nail in the coffin. Listen, last Sunday, while I was casting, I ate some words because I said that. With 2 seconds left to go, the game was 3-1. They tied it up 3-2, and it seemed meaningless, right? We were going off to the next game, and suddenly they tie it up with a 0-second goal, and that could have been it. But it's denied, and now with 0 seconds, it's now officially over. It is going to be a clean 3-0 sweep, but that's not the way I expected it to go.
No, not at all, too. And, I mean, this is what we were talking about. The Zebras, they have been playing hot since those roster moves that you talked about. Roxy and Wheat have been playing really well, and you see based on the scoreboard, they were the impact players. I mean, Dirty, he played really well. There's no doubt about that. But he is the staple face of the Zebras, right? It's these other two that are new to the roster that have really came in and stepped up their game, and now they're 18-1. And starting off the year right.
Starting off the new year correctly and right on the right side of the bed, right, and on the left side. So they're doing extremely well. Titans sadly just could not put that one in. That would have given them a sliver of a hope there. But as you said, they put in the dagger, and that's all she wrote after Dirty puts it away. Once again, those were, I believe, Dirty has scored all 3 game-winning goals that series.
That sounds right. I believe that's true. And yeah, as we said, Dirty, he may not have ended each game on top of the scoreboard, but he was clearly an impact player and a consistent name on this Zebras roster.
Yeah, and he's been playing absolutely amazingly. Oh my goodness. What is this? I'm looking at the, I'm looking at the channel point things. The channel point rewards.
Oh no, I don't have chat up yet.
For 10,000 points, you can give Cuties a kiss.
Oh no.
Is my face cam on for the stream? No, it's not. Okay, phew. You guys would be seeing me ugly crying from how much I'm laughing. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. It's 10k, Revy. It's 10k. It's not 100k. But it should be 100. Oh no, you want to tell Bard that he sucks? Okay, yeah, okay. Never mind. But yeah, to everyone who said that the Zebras would win, congratulations. I put 1,000 on Zebras myself. I was pretty. I was in the position that Zebras would win this one, and that it turned out to be very much so correct. And so, GGs to everyone that played this game. And next up, we are gonna have another high octane game, I do believe, because these two teams are also fighting for the playoffs, I do believe.
I believe so. I'm blanking on the schedule. It's
Hurricanes versus Fireflies. Oh, sorry, no.
Right.
Neither team is fighting for a playoff spot. Sorry. That's what I meant to say. The 5-7 Hurricanes and the 0-12 Fireflies. So get ready for something. We'll be right back in just a few moments. We'll be back with the desk in about a few